government should not decide what people do with their bodies.
What you put into your body is because of your relationship with your body and your God. I don't have that right. Government does not have that right.
Florida's guidance conflicts with the health department in every other state and with the recommendations from the American Academy of Pediatrics, American Medical Association, and many other professional organizations. They all say that vaccines have been proven safe and effective and that ending vaccine mandates will lead to disease outbreaks and many preventable deaths. However, since the COVID shot started being administered, multiple adverse reactions have been reported to the CDC and others, as well as ongoing complications and sudden deaths allegedly related to the shots. Questions have also been raised over the ingredients of these shots. There's also reported public skepticism and distrust of vaccines in general now, as members of the public say they've been lied to and misled, wondering what else they've been lied to and misled about. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is set to appear before a Senate committee today, days after firing the CDC director. Here's Jessica Rosenthal.
Having RFK Jr. testify before the Senate Finance Committee was apparently in the works before last week's firing of the CDC director, Susan Menares. Last week, Kennedy said while he would not address individual personnel issues,
there's a lot of trouble at CDC, and it's going to require getting rid of some people over the long term in order for us to change the institutional culture.
While Democrats have been highly critical of Kennedy and are urging President Trump to replace him, Democratic Senator Ron Wyden wrote in a letter that Kennedy has left a number of inquiries for information unanswered. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, who voted to confirm Kennedy, despite reservations about positions on vaccines, said some of these personnel matters do require more oversight. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
A Wisconsin judge accused of helping an illegal alien evade arrest in her courtroom by U.S. immigration agents is now set to stand trial on December 15th. She is Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan. This comes after she decided against appealing a federal judge's ruling rejecting her attempt to dismiss the case. Judge Dugan's attorneys said in federal court on Wednesday that she would not appeal the ruling at this time, but could later. U.S. District Judge Lynn Adelman then scheduled her trial to begin December 15th. And that's a wrap for this hour of American Family News. You can find more news from a Christian perspective on our website, afn.net. For American Family News, I'm Bronson Woodward.
If we lose this cultural war, we're going to have a hedonistic, humanistic society.
Discover the story of the culture warrior Don Wildmon and how he went head-to-head with Hollywood, Playboy, the homosexual agenda, and the Disney empire. The movement Don started paved the way for Christians to boldly stand for truth and righteousness in a hostile culture. Watch Culture Warrior today for free. Visit culturewarrior.movie.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Today's Thursday, September the 4th, 2025. I'm Tim Wildmon, as the announcer just told you, and in studio with me is Fred Jackson. Good morning, Fred.
Good day.
And Chris Woodward.
Good morning.
And out of studio with me is Brother Ray Pritchard. How you doing, Ray?
Hey, I'm doing great, Tim. How are you today?
Hey, fall is in the air. How about there?
Oh, man, I'm just looking. It's 64 degrees here in Kansas City, heading up toward a high of only 77. So really nice September weather.
That's 79 here in Tupelo, high of 83 this afternoon.
We're doing
Fred.
okay.
Let's look up Fred's hometown. Fred, give me your hometown.
Well, let's go with Halifax.
Okay, I'm going to go Halifax, see what's going on in Halifax with the weather. The older you get, the more you care about the weather. I don't know why that is. That's just some kind of strange phenomenon. Oh, it's 69 back home,
bad.
Fred.
Not bad. That's a nice September morning. And you got to remember, it is 12 noon up there. It's 5 after 12.
going up to a high of 72 there. Mm-hmm. And it'd be a great fishing day, wouldn't it?
Great fishing day, and wait about 4 weeks, and you'll have fall colors.
Oh, fall color, really?
Oh,
about 4 more. Oh, they're gorgeous. Yeah,
they are.
Well,
gorgeous.
that's really neat. It's kind of similar to New England, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just,
same latitude.
Yeah. A few hundred miles north of Maine?
Well, actually, if you fly east from Maine, you catch a lot of the Maritimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I were to go to, let's say I flew into Maine, for example, got a car.
Yeah.
What would you do? Drive up the coastline to Halifax?
If you flew into Portland, Maine, you could drive along the coast and you cross the border at St. Stephen.
Okay.
And you hit New Brunswick.
All right.
And then you can drive through Moncton, New Brunswick, where I used to live, and then carry on to Nova Scotia or Prince Edward Island.
But that's a beautiful drive there. Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. And, of course, I'm a bit prejudiced. I come from the part of Nova Scotia called Cape Breton Island.
Right.
And that has the Highlands.
Okay.
I've told you before about the Cabot Trail.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful drives in the world. The Cabot Trail.
The Cabot Trail.
Yes. Especially fall colors.
Yeah. Have you ever been there, Ray? Nova Scotia?
I have been to New Brunswick several times, but never to Nova Scotia. And, okay, Fred, I'm looking at it right now. Cape Breton Island, it's up on would be the northern edge of Nova Scotia?
Northeast, yeah.
Northeast, yeah.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
It's beautiful place.
All right, let's put it on the bucket list right there.
It has the Bedour Lakes it's kind of like your hand, shaped like your hand, the island. Yeah. And in the middle of it all is the beautiful Bedour Lakes.
Okay.
Oh, it's just gorgeous.
All right. Let's put it on our bucket list.
Yes.
Places to see.
Yes. And I'm not paid by the Cape Breton tourism industry.
Okay.
I get no checks.
All right, you're not even paid in lobsters. They could pay you in lobsters, and you'd be happy about that, right?
Yeah. I'd be a very wealthy guy.
Yeah.
Lobsters are not cheap.
You weren't with us yesterday, Ray, but we were talking about Fred gets about once a month he gets lobsters shipped to him from New England in the dry ice to his home.
For real, Fred.
Not lobsters, but the lobster meat.
Yeah, 24 hours. You get it from, it comes from Maryland. It can come from Maine. And they ship it overnight, UPS or FedEx, and you get it on your table within 24 hours.
And you get it shipped in about once a month, huh?
Once every couple of months.
I love it, Fred.
When we get the yearning.
I love it.
Yeah. Reminds him of being back home.
It is. It's wonderful. Right. We have lobster rolls.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Nice.
And potato salad.
My wife, Alice, she could live off lobster rolls. She wouldn't need anything else.
I'll get you the address.
Okay, give me the address. That'd be great. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Chris, do you get anything shipped to your home from around the world?
Amazon boxes.
Oh,
right. But who doesn't? Yeah.
But there's no food in there.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah, but a number of people do that. I used to think that like ordering stuff online was kind of silly. Like, who in the world would do this? For example, Papa John's, they were among the first restaurants or businesses to do the whole order your product online and we'll deliver it to you. And I was like, that's so stupid. You already have your phone in your hand, just call them. And then they had like the papajohns.com bowl football game in Birmingham. And then all of a sudden, now you're ordering your Chick-fil-A online or whatever. So I clearly was not the investor to listen to 20 years ago when all that stuff was going.
Right.
One thing for Ray. Ray used to live in Chicago many years. Yeah.
Yes.
You can get Chicago deep pizza, deep dish pizza, shipped to you overnight.
Listen, we have done that, Fred.
Oh, yeah.
Dono's, Lou Malnati's. I mean,
and what do you do? What do you do? Just you pop it in the oven when you get there and cook it for half an hour or so, or what?
It probably did it come frozen for you?
It's frozen hard, right?
Yeah.
It's got the dry ice around it and everything, but you defrost a little bit and pop it in there and cook it, and it's as close to heaven as you're going to get here in Kansas City. If pizza's what you love.
Uh-huh. Well, I have to remember that. That's interesting. I didn't know you could do pizza like that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, it's great.
And you don't even have to risk being carjacked. That's a great thing about it right there.
That's right.
Win-win.
That's a segue into the news.
Yeah. I was thinking of a segue a
All right,
minute
go
ago.
ahead, Chris.
One other place that you can get a lot of good seafood is the great state of Louisiana, but unfortunately, New Orleans is a big reason why not everybody goes to Louisiana. That's because New Orleans, like a Jackson, Mississippi, a Memphis, or Chicago, they have a lot of crime there. And I'll begin here. Yesterday, after hosting the leader of Poland at the White House, the president was asked about his plans to possibly send National Guardsmen to Chicago and other places. And the president, Donald Trump, is not ruling out the idea of sending troops to New Orleans. Clip 11.
So we're making a determination now. Do we go to Chicago, or do we go to a place like New Orleans, where we have a great governor, Jeff Landry, who wants us to come in and straighten out a very nice section of this country that's become quite tough, quite bad. So we're going to be going to maybe Louisiana, and you have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks.
Now, Republican Governor Jeff Landry, unlike Democrat Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, Governor Jeff Landry told Fox just before the show started, hey, I'm all for troops coming here to help curb crime and help people. Clip 12.
Well, look, we're going to talk to the president. We will do whatever the president would like us to do. We want the federal resources that whatever he wants to send us. Again, look, I think it's important to recognize that, again, whether it's New Orleans or Memphis, those folks in Chicago, they need the National Guard more than anyone else. They seem to not want it. But again, whether it's New Orleans, any of those cities, Bill, I think the president has the right combination. I think the president has the right combination.
Well, okay, so yesterday we talked about this. What's the constitutional question at hand? Does the President of the United States have the authority to call out the National Guard and employ, is that the right word, the National Guard on cities? And I think the answer is no, unless there's some sort of a national emergency that's, or, and this is my opinion, but I think, or you're invited in by the governor of the state. Mm-hmm. And in this case, Governor Landry of Louisiana is inviting the president's help in curbing crime in the largest city in Louisiana. So I don't have a problem with that because he's asking them. However, I would want to know this: has Governor Landry called out his own National Guard to help in New Orleans? That's what I would say. Good
question, yeah.
You need to first of all call out your own National Guardsmen from around the state of Louisiana to go to New Orleans. That would be the first step I would take. But what I'm saying is the secondary question there: if the governor calls in, asks the president for help, I don't have a problem with it. Ray, go ahead. Your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, when the governor of Louisiana says, "I welcome this help," then there is no constitutional issue. There's no legal question at all. And I think it's a fantastic idea, especially when, Tim, you've made the point very carefully. It's a whole other situation in Chicago where both the mayor and the governor, for a lot of reasons, do not want any help from the feds.
Right.
Well, fine. That's a different question. I did find it interesting, Tim, that the president said, take about 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's Trump being Trump.
I would avoid setting deadlines.
He shoots off his mouth on things like that, where he's right on the overall general principle of something, and then he'll just say something like, 2 weeks, we'll have it solved. Well,
the other side of it is, whatever has happened in D.C. certainly has happened quicker than any of us expected.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We all know it's, you bake that in with Trump, his mouth gets him, I better not say it like that. His mouth says a lot of things that, are flamboyant. Yes. I'll put it this way. But his general principles and his core instincts on political issues are almost always right in the end. It may take some time to prove it. Go ahead, Fred.
I don't believe Trump is going to force troops into Illinois, Chicago. I don't think he's going to do that.
I don't either.
But he's kind of starting to win the PR game over Pritzker and over Mayor Johnson of Chicago. Because now you're seeing a steady stream of residents of Chicago on Fox, some of their political leaders saying, listen, Pritzker and Johnson, it's fine for them. They have their own security detail. People watch over their houses. Here we are on the south side of Chicago, whatever the case may be, and we don't have the protection that they do. So they're saying to Trump, why don't you come to town? I think what Trump may do before it's over, he won't get an invitation, but he's going to go to Chicago and he's going to have a news conference in a particular area that's high crime, all that sort of thing. And that will draw attention to it. Pritzker and I'm not the first to say this, Pritzker and Johnson are afraid if those troops were to come in, they would be successful in bringing the crime rate down in Chicago.
Well, that's what the former police chief of Chicago said, which we led the story with. Who was it? What's the gentleman's name?
Oh, the ex-police chief is Jody Weiss, if I said his name correctly.
Did we have audio from that? Or
we do not. I can share the link or mention some of his comments.
But that was interesting. I saw that story last night. The former Chicago Police Department chief of police, he said out loud, he said the reason the governor and the mayor don't want Trump coming here with troops is because he might work.
Yeah.
Well, and now you have D.C. as proof.
Yeah, and I have that audio of the mayor of D.C. again, if you want, where she's talking about how Trump's intervention did help combat crime.
How long is that?
It's 29 seconds.
Okay, this is Mayor Browser of D.C. She was originally opposed to President Trump in the District of Columbia, bringing in the National Guard. But then when they came in and it's basically stopped the crime, then she changed her. To her credit, she changed her tune.
Right.
So this is what we're about to hear?
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
It's clip 10.
And we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. The difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Democrat mayor.
Yeah, and she's referring to the MPD. She's referring to the Metro Police Department, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll see how this goes. But I do agree with you, Fred, that the citizens, the majority of citizens in these big cities that have this crime problem, they want something done. But again, I say that, and then I sound like I'm talking out of both sides of the mouth. But they keep voting for Democrats. So I don't know what to tell you.
But if this former chief is right, that Pritzker and Johnson don't want Trump to send troops in because it might work, that lives would be saved, that shootings would be down.
That's called Trump derangement syndrome, Fred.
It is, but they're willing to have more people in Chicago die violently rather than give Trump credit. Has the mayor?
Well, they wouldn't even have to invite the governor there could do it himself. As I said earlier, talking about Louisiana, the governor of Illinois could say, okay, I'm calling out the National Guard of Illinois to help with police work making safe the streets of Chicago. That's all it would take. But they act like there is no problem, basically. I saw a clip of the governor. His name, how do you pronounce his last name in Illinois?
Pritzker.
Pritzker. I saw him the other day, and he was like doing a short video from on a sunshiny day on a peaceful street, going, "Hey, there's no problem here. I don't know what everybody's worried about. It's all good." And I'm going like, don't make a staged video like that when it's 10 o'clock in the morning. On a peaceful, he said he was some kind of little village or something.
And you're surrounded by security.
That's what I'm saying, and he's surrounded by all the security that a governor is afforded. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues. Next story.
I want to shift gears real quick and bring attention to a couple of things here out of the great state of Florida. When you go to AFN.net, Fred posted an Associated Press story, and the headline is, Florida will work to eliminate all childhood vaccine mandates. There is also a video about this. Florida plans to become first state to eliminate all childhood vaccine mandates. I bring this up because Florida made a huge announcement yesterday, and stay with us throughout this afternoon and tomorrow because we are getting a reaction to this. Bottom line, Florida's Surgeon General, his name is Dr. Joseph Ladapo. He made the announcement yesterday that, again, Florida is going to eliminate all childhood vaccine mandates. They're not saying you can't get a shot if you want to. It's just saying it's your choice not to get vaccine mandates like a lot of states require. Here is Dr. Ladapo, clip 6.
The Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them. All of them. It's wrong. It's immoral. They do not have the right to tell you what you put in your body. So people are going to have to make a decision. People are going to have to choose a side. And I am telling you right now that, you know, the moral side it's so simple. No one has that right, guys. People have a right to make their own decisions, informed decisions. You want to put, you know, whatever different vaccines in your body, God bless you. I hope you make an informed decision. You don't want to put whatever vaccines in your body, God bless you. And I hope you make an informed decision. And that's how it should be.
Fred?
Yeah, that was a big announcement yesterday, and you heard the cheers. And again, we want to emphasize, they are not banning vaccines in Florida. All they're saying is we're getting rid of the mandates that say you must or you can't work here or your kid can't go to school here. That's what they're getting rid of, this government heavy hand that says you must or you're going to pay a penalty. Mm-hmm. In Florida now, if you're mom and dad and you want your little girl, little boy to get those vaccines, you can still do it. But if you're a mom and dad and you say, no, I don't want my child getting vaccine A, B, or C, then you have a right to do it. That's what they're working on there in Florida.
So he that's the Surgeon General.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Does every state have a Surgeon General?
A lot of states have a health officer.
Okay, different names.
Same position.
The state's chief health officer, and in Florida it's called the Surgeon General of the state of Florida. Mm-hmm. What'd you think about what he was saying there, Ray?
Well, I'm trying to think of how to put this. I'm extremely skeptical about what he said. I wonder if it's not an overreaction to the justified feelings we all have about what happened with COVID-19. In fact, we feel like we were lied to repeatedly over and over and over again. But I wonder, does it contribute to the public health to take away the mandate for the tetanus shot or for the polio or for smallpox or for what else? Rubella, measles, mumps, things like that. The jury, I mean, we don't know yet what the long-range outcome can be, but I am on the side of, because I don't believe all vaccines are bad, and I'm on the side of saying the ones that we know and are proven to be effective, it's not a bad thing to require that our kids have them for their sake and for the sake of other children in the school.
Yeah, I was, I'm when you're not a doctor and you're not a scientist, right, and you don't study this stuff for a living, you look at somebody with a white coat and you go, what do you think? I'm going,
true. True.
So it's hard, and then when people in white coats disagree, you go, and I don't know what to make of all this. How am I supposed to figure this out? But that's what I thought. I thought the same things you thought. I appreciate freedom and liberty, and we don't want forced vaccinations on people. But that's what he's saying. You can still get vaccinated.
Yep.
For all these things if you want to, but the mandates by the state of Florida are taken off. Can he do that unilaterally, the Surgeon General?
They can take. Well, no, I think it has to be approved by the legislature. They can take the mandates away. But what Ray is saying is very true. I think what happened is that the experience of COVID, and COVID mandates have just left a bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah. Right, and the forced.
the
people
forced,
losing their jobs, military
Yes.
people being
Yes.
being thrown out, and then I never will forget Biden when he was I think soon after he was president, and him saying, all these people are getting fired for not getting the COVID vaccine, and like we said, the military losing their lifelong. They've been there for 20, 25 years. You had this happen in your your family. So and you go in like and then Biden says, well, guess what? You can't. He's only saying what we all knew. Well, we all know. So you can't prevent getting COVID by the COVID vaccine shot. Okay, then it's not a vaccine. I don't know what the medical term is, definition of vaccine exactly, but in the minds of people, vaccine means prevents you from getting something. We all agree with that?
Yeah.
Then Biden says, well, no, it doesn't prevent you from getting it. Okay, then what does it do?
Then what is it?
Yeah.
Right.
So does it prevent you from spreading it? Nope.
No, that's right.
So you're telling me you're going to be forced to get a shot of an experimental drug, vaccine, everybody admits it's experimental and rushed to market, and you're telling me it doesn't stop you from getting it, and it doesn't stop you from spreading it, and you're going to force people to get it or they lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. That's what you mentioned, the bad taste in the mouth of Americans.
Yes.
That's what led to the skepticism and the bad taste.
And the other thing that happened since all of that, we know that people, perfectly healthy young males, athletes, have suffered consequences.
Myocarditis, what do you call it?
Yeah, the effects of the
heart,
the lining around the heart. We have seen that. So on top of the mandate, we're now seeing it has had negative impacts on some people.
Yeah. Okay, I want to tell y'all something. Just if you mention this to Steve, like, this will trigger him. So there's no point in us being in this room. You just mentioned forced COVID vaccines.
Okay.
When Steve gets in here,
stake to the bulldog.
He will. We can just leave the room. He will rant on. All right, we'll be back momentarily with more of today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Stay with us.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
Some time ago, I had a tooth with a bad cavity. The edge of the tooth was so sharp that it cut my tongue. I called the dentist to make an appointment and was told that it would be a couple of weeks before the dentist could fill the tooth. But if I would come down to the office, he would smooth the tooth off so that it would not cut my tongue. Well, I went down to his office. He fixed the tooth so that it would not hurt, and then he took some x-rays of my teeth. I was told to come back in 2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks later, I went back to the dentist. I was happy that the cavity was to be filled. It certainly needed filling. It was one of the largest cavities I've ever had. But when I sat down in the chair, the dentist informed me that he was not going to fill that cavity. I asked him, why not? He told me that the x-rays had revealed a larger, more serious cavity and an upper jaw tooth on the other side. It was far more important, he explained, that he correct the hidden cavity. So, for the next hour, work was spent correcting a cavity which I didn't even know existed. Well, after I left the dentist's office, I began thinking about how much like sin those two cavities were. I compared them to the two types of sins, the sins of the flesh and the sins of the spirit. Too often our emphasis has been on the sins of the flesh, drinking, cursing, running around, all the other things you know. I'm afraid that many times we have considered the sins of the flesh as the only sins, certainly as the major ones. We have ignored the sins of the spirit, sins like stinginess and prejudice and a bad attitude. The problem with the sins of the spirit is that they are not surface sins. They're deeper, hidden sins. The sins of the spirit are far more dangerous and far more difficult to detect and to get at than sins of the flesh. Indeed, like the hidden cavity, it often takes a very close examination to even know they exist. But they're certainly just as deadly as the sins of the flesh. Well, the dentist eventually filled my cavities, the one I knew about and the one I didn't. The thing that scares me so is that the one I didn't even know existed was far more serious than the one that had bothered me. I'll tell you what my trip to the dentist has made me do in my spiritual life. It's made me examine myself more closely in order to discover and correct the sins of the spirit. For I'm convinced that quite often they are far more deadly than the sins of the flesh. And I don't want to have a decayed soul because of them.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
Some would say truth is relative, and to the world, that's right. What the world considers to be truth fluctuates depending on the narrative they're trying to promote. Of course, we know truth is found in Scripture, and it never changes. The documentary, The God Who Speaks, proves the Bible's reliability as the source of real truth and reinforces our belief in it as our firm foundation. Watch it anytime at stream.afa.net. That's stream.afa.net.
For he has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of the Son he loves. Colossians 1:13.
American Family Radio. This is Today's Issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of Today's Issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of Today's Issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. Tim, Fred, Chris, and Ray. And as always, we thank you for joining us. Sandy Rios is with us now. Sandy is host of Sandy Rios 24/7, a podcast we feature here at afr.net. She has 3 podcasts a week, typically, and she joins us ever so often on this program. Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning, Tim.
How are you?
It's so nice to hear your voice. It's nice to be with the rest of the guys. I always enjoy it.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Well, this is an all-male panel every day, so it's
I
nice.
come to add spice to your panel.
Yes, we're nice to have a lady's voice on with us every once in a while. Sandy, let's talk about that story, Fred. Why don't you bring up that story for Sandy?
Yeah, we know that earlier this week, the Chinese leader Xi Jinping had a military parade and he invited some friends, among them Vladimir Putin from Russia, and the Indian leader was there and a few others. And there is a story out there in the last 24 hours that Xi and Putin were caught on what's called a hot mic. In other words, there's a reporter covering the event, and they have a microphone that can pick up conversations from quite a distance. And according to various news outlets, Xi and Putin talked about advancements in medical technology which may allow people to live up to 150 years. And so they were quite excited about that. And
how are they doing this conversation? Is it in Russian or in Mandarin?
Well, they both have translators with them.
Okay.
They were able to do that. But anyway, Sandy, that's what they're talking about. It was kind of interesting, and of course, they're talking about heart, other organs like that people need to survive. But the problem is that there's been reaction from doctors talking about transplants and that sort of thing, saying, we got 100,000 people out there that are waiting for these vital organs like kidneys and that sort of thing, and we need to be focusing on that, not what these guys are talking about.
Well, I think, hello, Fred. I think a couple of things struck me about this. First of all, it's really kind of stunning. We never have hot mics of these third communist leaders. This is really wild for them to have this private moment, because this was a very private discussion, and to have this picked up. But the thing that struck me, of course, is that the conversation is in part about organ transplants making us live longer. Then she says, yes, I'm hearing we may be able to live to 150. Now, I think both of them are like 72, and Putin is really interested in all of this stuff. But here's the notable thing to me, Fred, is, the Chinese have notoriously, for many years now, been forcibly harvesting organs from people they don't like the Uyghurs. And who knows who else, probably Christians, who knows? And they do that with them living. They're living, and they take their organs out. They don't use anesthetic. It's a horrific thing. And so they're talking about, taking other people's organs to make them live longer. And as you said, there's no evidence, no scientific evidence that anything like that organ transplant makes you live longer. It's still a human organ. But the thing that struck me is, like, we have on display here two very different worldviews. You think about how the lack of belief in God, we've got the absence, Putin might say he believes in God, but we know that he's a godless man because of his actions, not his words. And of course, Xi is an outright communist. Putin is an old communist, former, maybe still. But they don't have any respect for humanity, for human life. They're thinking about their own longevity, and they're thinking, obviously the Chinese, by their actions, are showing they don't have any regard for humanity. They'll just take their organs so that they can live longer. It just really struck me. And we've got the three leaders of the most threatening godless states in the world, really. It's North Korea and China and Russia. No, not the Russians. A lot of people in Russia do believe in God, but a lot of them don't, Fred. It still has a real strong communist influence. And so that's all. I just thought it's really striking. See, that's how it changes. Knowing Christ, how it changes our attitudes and beliefs and views and values on everything. And this is just one illustration. And that could be the future of mankind if they gain power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're talking to Sandy Rios. We're talking about this hot mic moment caught between the Chinese dictator Xi. That's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
It's Xi in English, right? I mean,
yes.
That's his last name, but you pronounce it Xi like SHE, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Vladimir Putin, the Russia dictator, they were together at a military parade in China, and when they were caught on hot mic talking about basically their mortality and how to escape it, is what they were talking about. Ray, any thoughts on this?
Hey, Sandy.
Hey, Ray.
I got a question for you. Would you like to live to be 150 years old?
Are you kidding me?
While you were talking, that's what I was sitting here thinking about myself. So what do you say, Sandy?
Oh gosh, no, not for me. but see, the thing of it is, now Ray, that's a good question, because that illustrates really what I was trying to say. Another point of it. These guys think this life is all there is.
Right.
So
that's
they
the
have
point.
to cling and live as long as they can. We know that a new heaven and a new earth awaits us, and we actually are quite excited about it. So why would we live to 50 more years? I don't care about that. No, thank you.
I agree with you. Now let me ask you this. I guess this could be a college course I'm about to bring up, but with communism, why is communism linked with atheism?
Well, because they're strictly describing their worldview. They are humanists. They believe in humans. They used to have humans, not God, and they're outright atheists. But that's the very essence of it. Lenin was a godless man. He was an atheist, and the whole system of communism is one that forces people to believe that there is no God. It's man's achievement. You may remember, you know what the Oscar looks like. It's this broad-shouldered, naked man, sort of androgynous. Broad-shouldered, goes down to his long legs, and he's very proud. The communists in Russia had this, that they use a symbol like that. They call it, it was everywhere in Russia. It was the monument to human achievement. It's humans. You see their statues. It's people, the workers. It's all of this. It's about mankind and no God. And of course, you were punished if you believed in God. So it's been that way from the very beginning of communism.
Right.
No God.
Same thing in China, Ray, right?
Yeah, but let me just add something here, Sandy. You know, the Bible says that God has put eternity inside every human heart. That's Ecclesiastes 3:11, and Augustine's famous prayer, Lord, you've made us for yourself, and our hearts are restless until they find rest in you. Yeah. There is something inside every human heart. We are looking for something. We're looking for immortality one way or another. So Xi and Putin, they can't get it through the gospel. I mean, they could, but they won't. So what are you left with? Organ transplants? That is a terrible substitute for the gospel of Jesus Christ, because what does he give us? Not just life, but everlasting life, eternal life. And let me just say to all of our listeners, if you want to live forever, there's a way you can live forever. And that's
gloriously.
Yes, gloriously. Put your trust in Jesus Christ, and you will live with God forever.
I believe
Amen.
That. Yes, I do.
All right. Well, Sandy, what do you got coming up on your podcast this week?
Well, tomorrow we're going to have a discussion with Matt Staver about the future of of gay marriage. It's really interesting because he's actually representing Kim Davis, I think her name is, from Kentucky. I remember interviewing her way back when this happened. Just this because she was the county clerk from this small county. She's kind of what I would describe her as. She's just a normal Kentucky mom, who's gone through hard times. I think she's divorced, and she decided to run for county clerk, and she won. And when the gay marriage thing when they demanded that she start issuing licenses that said male and men and men and women, she wouldn't do it. She would not do it. And she said, based on my personal convictions, I can't do it. And she said, my assistant can do it or someone else. But they went after her with a vengeance. Now it's gotten all the way to the Supreme Court, and Matt is representing her.
Yeah.
And so it's possible that this could be, according to Matt, a case that could be the beginning of the marriage, the decision by the Supreme Court on marriage, gay marriage.
Gotcha. Well,
so that's what.
All right.
Anyway,
so
long answer. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So, folks, join Sandy. All you need to do. She has 3 releases a week, typically, of her podcast, and the website to find it. Go to afr.net. Click on podcast. afr.net. Click on podcast, and you'll see the banner for Sandy Rios 24/7. Then you get it, delivered to you, and listen. On demand, as they say, on demand. So,
on demand.
Yeah. What is how does Bruce see the FBI? Bruce, rather, your husband. How, for those who don't know, most people do. But how does he see the FBI shaping up now under new leadership?
Well, I think he's pretty optimistic.
Okay.
Not without caution.
Right.
A lot of things have to change before. But the thing, they're going to be losing like 5,000 by retirement, and also people that took that early retirement, I believe, in this month, in September. So they're going to be very short, but I guess our way of thinking about that is that the 5,000 that are leaving are probably really good riddance.
Yeah.
And so I know they need to, it's hard to, they're trying to get new recruits now, and I just say to any of you young men listening to me, it's time to apply if you have the qualifications, and certainly they're looking for good men and women who are people of integrity and honesty. If you go to the FBI website, you can apply, and I just really recommend people consider doing that. With the Border Patrol, they got like 200,000 responses, I think, something like that, when they opened up to hire more of them, and they just got more than they could handle. So it's time for all of us to pitch in. We are enjoying. God bless Donald Trump for he's given us hope. He's doing something great every single day. I've never seen anything like it. Doesn't mean he's perfect. I've never said that. But he's doing really great things. And we are basking in the relaxation and the freedom that we feel. But honestly, one man cannot do all of that. And he won't live forever. And I think all of us should be thinking about what we can do, not just relishing and enjoying, sitting back and enjoying the sigh and the relief of what we had with Biden. But we need to do something. So signing up for the FBI would be a good thing.
President Trump, appointed Kash Patel as the director of the FBI and Pam Bondi as the attorney general. And so he reset the whole atmosphere over there, for lack of a better word, in the Justice Department. And, I just don't think he could have hired two better people for those positions. And as Sandy's saying, now's the time to seize the moment. And they're hiring. So go to the FBI website. As Sandy said, you got to be qualified, but you can, we need to, while we have the door of opportunity or window of opportunity, these 4 years, who knows what happened after this, we need to staff, as it were, these federal government agencies with good, solid, patriotic conservatives.
Tim, it's our audience. It's American Family Radio's audience. Right. Those are the kind of people we must. There are so many of them in the White House already. I can't tell you how many good people are there, praying, working, just doing the best they can. But there's only a few of them, and so we have a vast audience. Some of them have grandsons and sons, if it's older people listening, who might be qualified. It's not even just that. Justice Department needs great attorneys that can be trusted. And we need, they've been hiring from Harvard and all the Ivy League institutions. We need some Midwesterners, Southerners, people that have good, solid degrees and great knowledge and integrity and love of country.
Amen.
So if you qualify for any of that, get your kids, your sons, your grandsons, yourself, get out there and apply.
Yeah. All right, Sandy, take care. Thank you for being on with us this morning.
Always fun.
Okay. All right.
Love you guys.
Take care, Sandy.
That's Sandy Rios joining us. Sandy is, again, you want to hear Sandy 3 days a week with her podcast. It's excellent. It's very popular among on our podcast list. It's always near the top of downloaded podcast. Go to Sandy Rios 24/7. You got to go to afr.net. Go to afr.net. Then click on the podcast, and there you'll see the banner for Sandy Rios 24/7. You are listening to the radio program Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Tim, Fred, Chris, and Ray. So the other day there was a rumor out that got out that President Trump had died, as in DIED.
Yes.
Over the weekend, so was it Don Jr.?
Yes.
What Don Jr.? He heard the rumor, and what happened?
According to the Daily Mail and other news outlets, Don Trump Jr. called his father on Labor Day weekend to make sure his father was alive amid death rumors.
That really happened?
Yes. I read it on the internet. It's true.
How do you do that? How do you have that conversation?
How do you even get into it? Like, hey, Dad, yeah, what's up, Don Jr.? I was just calling to see if you were alive.
Yeah,
what?
Dad, are you dead?
Yeah.
If he answers yes, then what do you say?
I know. What do you say? Well, sorry to hear that.
Really? How did that happen?
How did that happen? So, when I read that story, I thought, is this a joke? But Don Jr. called his dad to see if everything was okay.
Yeah.
It'd be scary if he called and it went to voicemail.
Oh, you're right.
Boy, that'd be scary.
You think President Trump has voicemail?
This line is no longer in service. Leave me a big, beautiful message. I'm not available right now.
And if this is Rosie O'Donnell, oh man,
I dare you to come back.
I don't want to finish that sentence.
Yeah. Actually, I do have a description of what the call supposedly went like. And I'll share this on our Today's Issues Facebook
Are you serious
page.
now?
Yes.
You doing
I'm dead serious. Dead serious. I'm reading from this Daily Mail article.
No, dead serious is not appropriate.
I see what you did there.
Okay.
It says, I called my father over the weekend and was like, hey, just want to make sure you're not dead, Don Jr. said. I know my daughter's playing golf with you as we speak. You know, I keep reading about it on Twitter, so I just want to make sure. He didn't even know what I was talking about, according to Don Jr.
Oh, he was asked again on Tuesday at a news conference.
Who was?
Trump was asked about it. I think
about being dead.
About being what do you think about those reports? He said, I had an hour-and-a-half interview with a particular network. I went to one of my golf courses.
Right.
So he was busy having fun.
That genuinely is fake news.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Who was it? I tried to find this. It's a famous quote, and it's being attributed to a bunch of people. I read the obituaries every day to see if I'm in it.
Who said that?
According
to like Will Rogers or
yeah.
Mark Twain or somebody.
According to the internet, it's anybody from Carl Reiner to Benjamin Franklin and Clarence Darrow.
It goes back many years.
Yes, I've heard it for years.
Yeah.
No, and when you hit 60, especially, then you start reading the obituary.
Yeah.
Especially if you live in the same town you've grown up in.
Now, Yogi...
Ray,
well, look, when I get the newspaper, the obituary, I get a special edition. The obits are printed on the front page, so I don't even have to turn to them.
Save you the
you
time.
mean for your newspaper there or back home?
That's the one here. Just because you never know, Tim. You never know.
If your name's going to be in there.
That's right.
Or something. Yeah, it's just like, I'll be sitting there watching a football game, and Allison would go, "Hey, do you know so and so died?" And I'm going, "No, I didn't know that, but thanks for telling me."
That's right.
Yeah.
Got any other
Here are the pallbearers. Anyway, it's just funny how that happens in life. The older you get, the more the longer you give, the more people do die.
Yeah,
and
that's right. You go to funerals to see your friends.
People you know, right? And I know people you know.
To play off of what Ray just said, one of Yogi Berra's famous sayings, this is one of my favorite, go to your friends' funerals or they won't come to yours. Yeah.
Go to your friends. Oh, me. Yeah, Yogi Berra also said, I've said this before, a lot of people know this Yogi Berra, but he was talking about the Yankees were, when he's playing ball, we're on the road playing in some city, and they go, "Hey, are you going to this restaurant tonight?" And he goes, "No, nobody goes there anymore. They're always crowded."
So true.
Yeah. Nobody goes there anymore because they're always crowded. All right. You're listening to today's issues on American Family Radio. Next story, Chris.
Well, I just we've got a few minutes left in the show, so I'm going to bring this up and then ask the panel for their favorite. Apparently, on this day in history, a revival of The Price is Right began airing with Bob Barker as host. It was a huge hit, becoming one of the longest-running game shows on American television. So on this day in 1972, CBS brought back a revival of The Price is Right, and Bob was on there for a long time. What is your favorite game show?
I liked The Price is Right when it was on. I got to interview Bob Barker one time.
Really?
Yeah. He went to school in Springfield, Missouri, which is where I went to Bible school. Met my wife there. Mm-hmm. And he went to school there in his early years. And he was back for a class reunion and got to speak to him. Really nice guy. Really nice guy.
Well, yeah, that was his personality. A very nice guy on TV. Bob Barker. The Price is Right. Was he known for anything else? Did he do a talk show or anything? Or was
he may have had another game show prior to Price is Right.
I'll look it up.
He's been in the game show business a long time.
What about you Bob Barker? Man, he was around a long time. I mean, how long was he with Price?
From 72 until the early 2000s when Drew Carey took over.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want my favorite?
Yeah, go ahead,
show?
Ray.
I'm going to name one you've never heard of.
Okay.
It was on CBS for less than a year in 1979 to 1980 called WHEW. And that's my favorite game show because back then I was pastoring a church in Downey, California, right out of seminary. And I went up and tried out for that game show, and on CBS. And because I was a pastor, that was kind of a unusual deal. and they put me on the game show. I played one game and won $26,200.
What?
What? Yes.
When
back
was
when
this?
That was back when that was real money. That was more than 3 times what I was making as a pastor.
Wow.
Back then.
Wow.
Now, when was this now?
1979.
Okay.
And it's on YouTube. The show is called WHEW with an exclamation point. If you search it on YouTube,
yeah,
it lasted 8 or 9,
I found
10
it.
months.
I
Okay,
found it, yeah.
and my game aired in November of 1979, and I won $26,000. It's always been my favorite game show.
Well, $26,000 then would be equivalent to $100 now, almost probably.
Yeah.
Oh, what year was this? 1979.
1979.
So you can watch this on YouTube?
Yeah, all the episodes are including my big game winner.
Okay.
And how much? What was the point of the game though? What was your?
It should have won the award for the dumbest game show in history.
Okay.
It was like the exact opposite of Jeopardy.
Wow.
Let's just put it that way.
How much did you say you won?
26,000.
Okay, so 26,000 this time in 1979 is the equivalent of $122,975 and 81 cents.
Well, that's wow, that's pretty impressive. I know my aunt. I've mentioned this before, but my aunt, she won. I think a car and some. She won a bunch of stuff on The Price is Right.
Oh, really?
In would have been either the 60s, before Bob Barker. I think it was set in New York. Was it? Whoever was the I'm forgetting who was the host. They told me, but it was The Price is Right. Who preceded Bob Barker?
I'm looking it up.
It wasn't Jack Parr.
A guy named Bill Cullen.
Him.
We go way back, me and him.
But he was the host, and I think it was set in New York. That's before it moved to Los Angeles, and she won. The Price is Right.
Wow.
On The Price is Right.
Got a car.
Yeah. That would have been back as I say I'm thinking the late '60s when
Wow.
when that happened. But I didn't know, Brother Ray. I've known you a long time. Never knew you won.
Never
Hey,
mentioned.
that
It's never
church
come
enjoyed
up.
that tithe check, Ray.
Yes,
So the name of the show was what? How do you spell it? If you look at it.
WHEW.
Oh.
It's like you're doing your forehead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the opposite of Jeopardy.
It is a complete. You'll see.
And it lasted 1 year because Ray bankrupted.
Yeah.
There you go. I broke the bank.
Yeah. Okay, we will be back in 5 minutes with more of today's issues on American Family Radio.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Hey, if you're looking for family-friendly entertainment or resources to strengthen your walk with God, there's one name you should remember: American Family Studios. We don't just want to bring you shows, movies, and specials that will entertain or build up your family. We're committed to honoring God by making them both biblically sound and of the highest quality possible. Check us out at AmericanFamilyStudios.net.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
For American Family News, I'm Bronson Woodruff. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is set to testify on Capitol Hill today to defend his signature MAHA agenda. He's expected to discuss changes at the CDC and making COVID shots no longer mandatory. Chad Pergram has an overview.
There's a big shakeup at the CDC, especially after he fired Director Susan Menarez. But MAHA supporters say Kennedy is exactly what the country needs. In a Wall Street Journal op-ed, Kennedy wrote that his mission is to restore trust in public health agencies, especially after what he termed irrational policies during the pandemic. But Democrats believe Kennedy is breaking the Hippocratic Oath and doing harm. Watch Senate Health Committee Chairman Bill Cassidy at the hearing today. He had reservations about Kennedy. Most Republicans support the secretary, but even those who voted to confirm Kennedy are not pleased and have questions.
Today's hearing comes as Florida aims to scrap all vaccine mandates, a move almost universally condemned by public health experts. Dr. Susan Cressley is president of the American Academy of Pediatrics. Cressley emphasized the importance of childhood vaccines, saying the move will, quote, put children in Florida public schools at higher risk for getting sick and have ripple effects across their community, end quote. However, many adverse reactions have been reported to the CDC and others following the rollout of the COVID shots, as well as ongoing complications and sudden deaths allegedly related to the shots. There's also reported skepticism and distrust of vaccines in general now, as members of the public say they've been lied to and misled, wondering what else they've been lied to and misled about. President Trump on Wednesday justified the lethal military strike that was carried out on Tuesday against a Venezuelan gang. He described it as a necessary effort by the United States to send an unmistakable message to Latin American cartels. When asked why the military did not instead interdict the vessel and capture those on board, Trump said the operation would cause drug smugglers to think twice about trying to move drugs into the United States. Later on Wednesday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned that such operations, quote, will happen again. Virginia Democratic gubernatorial candidate Abigail Spanberger is vowing to rescind an executive order from Governor Glenn Youngkin that allows for law enforcement to work with ICE. She argues this order pulls local law enforcement away from their regular responsibilities, adding she believes the U.S. immigration system is broken and allows cops to, quote, tear families apart. Governor Youngkin argued on Fox that his order is helping keep residents in his state safe.
We have had a tremendous relationship with the Trump administration. We've arrested over 4,000 illegal immigrants in Virginia, members of MS-13, Tren de Aragua. I mean, folks that are doing terrible things. And the first thing that Abigail Spanberger wants to do is reverse my executive order.
Spanberger is running against Virginia Lieutenant Governor and Republican candidate Winsome Earl Sears this November. A conservative activist questions why two radical Islamists are members of Congress if they hate our country so much. AFN's Chad Groening has more.
Recently, Michigan Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib took part in a, quote, People's Conference for Palestine in Detroit, where she spewed anti-Israel and anti-American vitriol.
Now we're in Congress, and we're every corner of the United States. They just don't get it. They will never truly comprehend, Ya Jama'ah, even after 7 decades, that we aren't going anywhere. We are just getting started.
Robert Knight is a columnist for the Washington Times.
I saw the clip of Rashida Tlaib of Michigan ranting over Israel, and really she included the United States in it. She's saying the United States is complicit in genocide in Gaza, and went on ranting about how bad America is. And I thought, gee, what are you doing in Congress if you hate this country so much?
And Knight says this is similar to rants from another Islamic congresswoman, Ilhan Omar from Minnesota,
who is a proud Somali immigrant and has said similar things about America and how she's representing Somalia in the U.S. Congress. And I just wonder if Americans want something done about this. There ought to be a mighty effort to oppose them in their next election, which is coming up in 2026.
I'm Chad Groening.
And that's a wrap for this hour of American Family News. You can find more news from a Christian perspective on our website, afn.net. For American Family News, I'm Bronson Woodruff.
3 simple words: uplift, inspire, and encourage perfectly identify American Family Studios. Since 2011, we've created documentaries, animation, films, and audio to uplift, inspire, and encourage individuals and audiences worldwide, reclaiming media from the filth Hollywood and the world push on us and our children. See what we have to offer your family when you visit AmericanFamilyStudios.net. AmericanFamilyStudios.net.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, president of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio. Tim with Fred and Ray, and now Steve Paisley Jordahl joins us. Good morning, Brother Steve.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, Steve, we were talking about our favorite game shows.
Oh, yeah.
And before the break, and Ray mentioned he won a bunch of money on a program called Shh. back in the day.
Shoo, huh?
You remember this show?
No, I don't remember that
Well,
one.
Ray remembers
But
it.
Ray, you would if you won a bunch of money.
Yeah. When were you in Southern California? What years?
1980, 82, 83, 84, 85, somewhere in there.
Okay, Steve, Ray, you were there before that, right?
Steve, you're just too young. I was.
Thank you. I haven't heard that in years.
In a long time. Yeah, I was pastoring a little church in Downey, California.
There you go.
1979, and just on a lark, I saw in the. I think it was L.A. Times, if you want to try out for this game show, didn't know anything about it. Or no, I guess I was watching the show one day, and it said come up, and so I went up and went through the interview process and played one game of on CBS, a show which lasted maybe 10 months, and won $26,200.
Mackerel. And thus launched
that's what
the
we all
ministry.
did.
There you go.
Everything else.
I was going to Biola University, and a friend of mine, her family got cast on the Family Feud show. It was back when it was Richard Dawson. Remember Richard Dawson used to kiss all the ladies and everything?
Uh-huh.
Her family went up against Raleigh Fingers. Remember the reliever for the Oakland A's?
Yeah, sure.
His family, Raleigh and his family, were up against the family that girl I knew. I got to sit in the front row. We got the seats. Raleigh won. He won a new car. Not like he needed one, but I got to shake his hand afterwards. He was with the Milwaukee Brewers at the time, but yeah.
Raleigh Fingers?
Raleigh Fingers won on Family Feud.
Well, I got to play golf with him.
Did you really? Did
Yeah.
you said hi for me?
2 years ago. I didn't know at the time that story right there.
He would have remembered Family Feud. He would have remembered me.
Yeah,
but-
there was a celebrity golf tournament in Orlando about 2 or 3 years ago. I forgot. So he was on my foursome team. A lot of fun.
Still got the mustache too, doesn't he?
Yeah, got the handlebar mustache going on. He lived in Las Vegas, but he was there.
Well, the A's are going to Las Vegas. They're joining him.
Yeah, well, that's
here.
true. That's true. So I said my aunt won on The Price is Right, and when the show was in New York, and she won a car, and that would have been in the. So I looked it up, and the Price is Right was filmed in New York City from 1956 to 1965.
Okay.
A new car.
Before they moved, Bill Cullen, remember him?
Oh yeah.
Was before
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker.
Mm-hmm.
Before Bob Barker, but I don't really have we talked about our favorite. Game show. I don't know. I did watch. I guess Wheel of Fortune. Watched that like everybody else. Watched that some back in the. But Pat Sajak's like, huh?
He's passed away. No. It was Trebek. Alex Trebek. I'm sorry. My
Does
bad.
Pat Sajak know this?
He was sitting with Donald Trump over the weekend. I guess
exactly
apparently.
right.
When you said that, I was shocked.
No. I was thinking of Alex Trebek. My fault.
Yeah, those are two different people.
Very much so.
So one's dead, one's alive.
That's correct.
I think that's the. But Alex Trebek did. Yeah. But Pat Sajak was host of Wheel of Fortune like for 40 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He just retired fairly recently.
I mean, we thought Tom Brady had a long run.
Yeah. Is Vanna White still on that show?
Yeah.
I think she is.
She is.
So
You'd
she
think
stuck
she'd
around?
retire by now.
I would have thought, yeah.
So Heather's family, Heather's folks, her mom now, they are into the game show network. There's a whole network on cable TV. It's just nothing but new game shows now. Some old, some new. But they all spend hours watching these different. It's fun. You get to try to guess all the questions.
So they have old game shows?
Well, they're current versions of old game shows.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
they have a Family Feud that's it's hosted by Steve Harvey.
What's My Line was pretty cool.
Yeah, you remember that?
Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool back in that's Soupy Sales era right there.
Right. That goes way back.
Yeah.
And then what was the one with Hollywood Squares?
Yeah.
Hollywood Squares, yeah.
With Paul Lynde?
Paul Lynde in the middle. Right.
All
in
the
middle
double
square.
entendres. That was about as
risque
a show as you'd ever want to have.
Yeah.
Do you remember the match game?
The match game, yeah.
I remember the theme.
Do you remember the $10,000 pyramid?
Oh yeah. Okay, now that was good. That was good.
That was Dick Clark.
Yeah.
The best I remember. Those were the days back in the day, right there, huh? Before the scrolling sucked up everybody's time, right there. We used to kill time watching game shows.
How about the password?
Oh yeah.
Oh, password.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And the word is
Oh,
banquet.
Banquet.
Oh man, back in the day. Everybody's got a back in the day, don't they? So, Fred, what would you say your favorite game show was?
It was Price is Right.
Now, was that in Canada too?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What about Let's Make a Deal?
Let's Make a Deal. Oh yeah,
Remember
with Monty Hall.
Monty Hall, yeah.
Yeah. So Carol was either in front of curtain 1, 2, or 3, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Carol Merrill.
I think
Isn't that
it
her
was.
name?
I
Is
think
that her
it was.
real name? Is that a stage name? Carol Merrill.
I don't know.
Carol Merrill. She was Vanna White before Vanna White came along, right there. She just had to stand before the
Remember,
curtain.
everybody used to come and see if if you have a paper clip and a guitar pick, I'll give you $100.
Right.
You know, I often thought with Vanna White,
Yeah.
imagine spending decades, your career, flipping
Letters? Yeah.
I guess she found that rewarding. Maybe
I think she found the paycheck rewarding.
I think she found that part of it very rewarding.
But I often thought
there are worse ways to make a living, Fred.
That's
I
right.
guess. You know, what do you do for a living? I flip numbers.
Flip those letters.
At some point, fulfillment in life is outdone by how much money you make. So anyway, it's nice when the two can join. But anyway, you're listening to today's issue. What's your first story, Steve?
I've been kind of keeping an eye on the TV, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is taking some shots in the Senate Finance Committee.
Some shots. I like that.
Yeah, you like
I see
that?
what you did there, yeah.
But he's given back as good as he's got. I got to tell you, he's not a favorite among Democrats. Of course, he's siding with Donald Trump, so just by default, they're going to go against him. But as you guys have already said, he's speaking against vaccine mandates. He's been redoing the COVID vaccine scheme. Who should get that and everything. And childhood disease is one of the things that's on his bucket list. He wants to tackle the rise in autism and the rise of childhood diseases. He and Ron Wyden got into it a little bit. And
Who's that?
Ron Wyden's a senator from Oregon.
Okay.
And I wanted to let you hear the last. This is at the end of the questioning from Ron Wyden to RFK Jr., and this is how it ended. Cut 13.
How many preventable child deaths are an acceptable sacrifice for enacting an agenda that I think is fundamentally cruel and defies common sense? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do I get a reply? Or, Senator, you've sat in that chair for how long? 20, 25 years, while the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%. And you said nothing. You never asked the question why it's happening. Why is this happening? Today, for the first time in 20 years, we learned that infant mortality has increased in our country. It's not because I came in here. It's because of what happened during the Biden administration that we're going to end.
There you go.
That's a very good comeback by RFK.
Yeah.
So
he's being questioned, RFK Jr., right now by Bernie Sanders. Bernie's going to have a heart attack if he keeps this up. He is just going ballistic.
Then whatever you think of RFK Jr., he knows his stuff.
He does.
Okay. This is his. He's been talking about this for years.
He seems almost unflappable,
Yeah, he's now he's listening to Bernie Sanders. I guess lecture him.
And he sits back. RFK Jr. will sit back as these Democrats are ranting, and he just smiles.
And he's a Democrat.
I know,
or at least formally. I think he's an independent now. But
I mean, it must gall the Democrats that a Kennedy is in front of them, and he is on Trump's team. I mean, this is a political miracle, I guess.
Well, what do you think? The larger picture here that I think RFK Jr. is bringing up, without getting into arguments about vaccines per se, or individual vaccines per se, is he is emphasizing what he would call poisons that we're putting into our bodies, and in particular children. And I'm not talking about rat poison or something like that. I'm talking about our diets. Wouldn't you say, Fred?
Yeah. And that's a bigger. That's actually, I think, been as big or bigger a part of his agenda so far.
Right.
Is what we are eating, adults, kids, and its impact on us. And he's really pushing towards, more organic type foods, that kind of thing, because our bodies react so well to organic food, versus and one of the big things has been is the additives to cereal and
the
all
additives. He's really big on the
he sure is.
warning against the additives.
Yeah, and I think people were shocked when they found out. They just thought, okay, my Cheerios has got this color and that sort of thing. But when they found out what they're putting in to make those colors, and now he wants to put like using fruit to color Cheerios or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So the rate of autism in the United States in 2000 was 6.5 kids per 1,000 children. In 2024, it's 1 in 31.
So you have to ask, why is that?
Why is that?
Why is that?
And that's what RFK is after, those kind of answers. We're doing something to the kids. ADHD is like through the roof, and a lot of that, of course, parents or some advocates will say has nothing to do with an actual disorder. It's just kids that, my dad used to have this saying, your teacher tells you to sit down, God tells you to get up and run, who are you going to obey? You know, the kids are meant to get up and run.
Yeah.
They're not meant to sit in front of a classroom for hours and just be docile, but autism is that's an actual disorder, and it's going through the roof.
Yeah. Next story.
All right. Another sacred cow is starting to fall, and boy, this one could not happen quick enough. There's an article out on a publication called Unheard, and it's called The Taming.
Never heard of it.
There you go. It's right spot on, this particular publication. The name of this article is called The Taming of a Gender Researcher, and it talks about a guy named Gordon Guyat, who's an authority on medical research on what they're calling Society of Evidence-Based Gender Medicine. And what evidence-based gender medicine does is it takes the studies that they did and it makes them broad studies in fact what's happening. So instead of you have a study that has 1,000 kids and it looks what gender does to those 1,000 kids, this one will take it after it's been applied and say, how does this scale out? So when you have 10,000, 12,000, 100,000 kids do this, what are the outcomes? Does it fit with what the study said? And they're finding that it doesn't. In gender medicine, this is a story of incredible pressure, ferocious pressure, quoting from the article, from trans activists to disavow research, to denounce the use of work to fudge the numbers. Gender activists, trans activists, brought incredible pressure to bear on scientists to fake the numbers, and they're being outed. I wanted to let you hear. This is an author with the New Yorker. His name is Malcolm Gladwell, and he was on a panel a couple years ago where he was pressured to say, you're killing youth if you don't let them transition. They're going to commit suicide. It's harming them. It's just the most natural thing in the world. You can come back from it. You make your decision later. Just start them down that path. All of those lies, he capitulated under pressure. And listen to what he says now. Cut 10.
And we greatly appreciate this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If we did a replay of that exact panel at the Sloan Conference this coming March, it runs in exactly the opposite direction. And it would be, I suspect, near unanimity in the room that trans athletes have no place in the female category. I don't think there's any question. I just think it was a strange, the reason I'm ashamed of my performance at that panel, because I share your position 100%, and I was cowed. The idea of saying anything on this issue, I was I believe in retrospect, in a dishonest way. I was objective in a dishonest way.
Who was that gentleman?
Malcolm Gladwell.
That's interesting because that's what the pro-trans pressure machine, and it comes in various forms. That's what they try to do to people who disagree with them or who bring up objections to them. And they even go so far as to attacking somebody as high profile, as wealthy, and even a liberal person by and large, and that is J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. She's world famous. but she disagrees with the trans movement putting them in and calling them women. And she's very outspoken on this. And they've tried to cancel her. Of course, she can't be canceled. She's beyond that now. But what this fellow's saying is, that we just heard, is the pressure is so great that even on the medical community, I guess, and the scientific community, they can be swayed, like he said he was, by just the pressure.
They used the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center. It's documented in here how the Southern Poverty Law Center issued a report in December 2023 about a supposed pseudoscientific network of anti-LGBT groups, including the Society for the Evidence-Based Gender Medicine, to harm trans youths.
Right.
And
they would say, the SPLC, for example, and these pro-trans organizations, they're going to tell you that because you don't accept the transgendered people for what they say they are, because you don't accept that, therefore you're a hater, and your hate causes them to have psychological problems. Therefore, when they commit suicide, it's your fault.
Yeah.
And especially you bunch of Christians who don't accept this. Now, Christians aren't the only ones who object to this, but and then they're going to say, too, if a transgendered, confused person on drugs, like what happened in Minnesota, goes in and kills a bunch of people, and that happened also in Nashville, remember, about, a year and a half ago or so, that's also your fault, you bunch of Christians, because and others, because you're not accepting of the trans. This isn't, you can't lump the trans in with the LGBTQ, because there's a lot of the LGB that don't agree with the trans movement. So they're not together altogether. They're not together altogether. So does that make sense?
I just sent this article, "The Taming of a Gender Researcher," to Brent to post on our Facebook page, our Today's Issues Facebook page. The whole movie we put out about the gender dysphoria and
in his
image, we're being proven right.
Yeah.
In real time, the dominoes are falling.
Right. God made male and female. Jesus talked about that.
You know, to see Malcolm Gladwell, who is a New York Times writer, right, and well-known bestseller, for him to, it's just something about how things have shifted in the culture in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because Jesus himself, he quoted from Genesis chapter 2, male, female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and what? And cleave to, be joined to his wife. You have biological males, you have biological females. Both of them made by God and created in God's image. There are two genders and only two, and everything else is just made up, dangerous nonsense.
You know, Ed has a very good way, Ed Battagliano has a very good way of framing this issue that everybody can understand. I hope I can explain it right. He says, you know, when we have somebody who's anorexic, you don't tell them when they say, I'm fat, you know, you're right, you are, I affirm you. I affirm you as a obese person. So
we're going to give you a lap band.
You need to stay
surgery.
on this. You need to stay on this extreme diet. Yeah. No, nobody does that. You say this person has a psychological problem. Now you say a spiritual problem too, but everybody would agree that they have a mental or psychological problem if they think they're obese when in fact they are skinny, and you don't affirm that. So Ed would say it's the same thing. You don't tell somebody who is a male who says they're a female, you don't say, you know what, you are. Now you may have male genitalia, but you are a female because you feel like it. To do that is to encourage a mental disorder.
Yeah.
And also just to flat out deny reality.
Yeah.
But there are so many people who have planted a flag on this hill or want to die on it. They are dying on it. But I think there's a battle yet to come. You've seen these interviews or these protesters who are out there yelling, threatening, if you don't use the right pronoun, I'm going to beat you up, or whatever they say. The tide is turning against them, but I think it's going to be a hard tree to fell.
Well, that's where a change of government comes in, because what happened to the left and whether it's trans or whether it's climate change, the left makes laws to silence anybody opposed to what they're saying. During COVID, you mentioned ivermectin, you're off the air. We're not going to tolerate it. That's what the left does.
Yeah.
The left does not believe in free speech.
Right.
We've been talking about this story about the Irish comedian this week.
Right.
Arrives into Heathrow Airport, and he's got 5 cops waiting for him.
In London.
What did I do?
Right.
Oh, you said something about trans.
Right.
So, and
that's in London, and you would think they had free speech, but no. They're arresting this comedian who is a celebrity.
Yeah.
Off the airplane because they said you had tweets that were mean to trans people.
You offended people. We're going to arrest you.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do about J.K. Rowling though, and Martina Navratilova and others, because there are others.
Somebody has raised that concern because J.K. Rowling, Farage, who is
Nigel Farage,
he testified at a hearing here in the United States the other day and mentioned this, that free speech is in jeopardy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Steve, we got about 1 minute to go.
I just want to look at some headlines from our favorite truth-telling magazine, the Babylon Bee.
Yes.
And we're coming up to Thanksgiving and everything, and Donald Trump has done another favor to the country. He has bombed the ship smuggling 30,000 kilos of pumpkin spice coming into the country. And in a related story, we hear that Hunter Biden is telling his dad he's going to need a new boat.
Oh, my word.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. The Dallas Cowboys play the Philadelphia Eagles tonight. So starts the NFL season. Who does Kansas City Chiefs start off
Tomorrow night, they're at the Chargers. Right?
Oh, at the Chargers?
They're playing in Brazil, São Paulo. It's a away game in Brazil. It's a away game for both of them.
So is Taylor Swift and
that's the question everybody
what's
wants
his name?
to know.
Kelsey?
They're engaged, and all the betting is that Taylor
Swift
is going to be the halftime performer at the Super Bowl this year.
Okay, I just want to keep America abreast.
Yes, keep America.
We just don't get enough Taylor Swift news in this country.
It's our job. It's today's issues. It's why we're here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your Thursday. Don't forget Trivia Fridays tomorrow. So if you want some education, you need to join us back 22 and a half hours from now. My thanks to Steve, Fred, Ray, Brent Creeley, our producer, Chris Woodward, and who else was? Sandy Rios was on with us. Have a great afternoon. Keep listening to AFR.